just touches the screen every.
Good. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's blinking.
Yeah, blinking is good.
So why do I have trouble with kavanah? I think that was the question. The answer is I have a lot of trouble with kavanah. I have trouble remembering to daven, especially mincha. Mincha is that real opportunity which comes along and where I have to say, stop, it's time for mincha. You know, nighttime, Mariv. So before I go to sleep, I daven Mariv. Shachris, I do it the first thing in the morning. It's not hard to remember them. It's very hard to remember mincha, especially on a short winter day. And as for kavanah itself, during davening, I have a lot of trouble concentrating. I work on it. First of all, I find that the best way to concentrate is if I use a book. If I do it by heart, my mind tends to run, and then I'm sort of saying words and I don't even know quite what I'm saying. If I use a book, there's a tendency to concentrate a little bit more. But I don't know how many times in my life I have been supposed to say Ya'aleh v'yavo, and I forgot. Even when I started Shmon Esrei thinking, I got to remember to say Ya'aleh v'yavo, then comes Ritzei, and whoops, I'm right in Modim, and I forgot to say it. I think it's natural. I think very, very pious people can concentrate all the way through. Normal people have a lot of trouble, and I'm quite normal. So I have trouble. I really have to work on it. I don't think I've ever gone through the whole Aseret Yemei Tshuva without forgetting at least a couple of times one of the additions that you have to say in the Shemona Esrei. I work so hard. Every year I say to myself, at Ma'ariv on Rosh Hashanah, this year I'm going to go all the way through the 10 days. I'm not going to forget once. I guess I still have to grow up because it hasn't happened yet.
Okay. You have trouble with kavanah? I didn't see that coming. Okay.
Yeah, no, I try. I try. Total kavanah is very hard. You know, of course, you know where I get my kavanah from in tefilah? In Rafa'enu, when I pray for health. So I have a card on which I have the names of people who are sick. I have two sides. This side is mostly long-term. People for whom I'm praying for a long time. It's not an acute illness. It's a long-term situation. I don't say this all the time. I say it every once in a while. But these I say virtually every single day, 3 times a day. I really concentrate when I say that. And I think that helps me tremendously with my concentration in tefilah. But then I have to be very careful when I get to the next paragraph, Barech Aleinu, not to be thinking about somebody who's sick and saying V'tein bracha instead of V'tein talo matar levracha. Or in Shema Koleinu, right before Ki ata shomea tfilat amcha Yisrael b'rachamim, in the morning, I pray for one woman who I know is trying to get pregnant and having trouble, and another woman who is pregnant, and I'm praying that she should have a healthy baby, and a man who's in prison, and that God should protect him. And I get all involved in that, and that helps my kavanah in Shema Koleinu. But then I forget Ya'aleh v'yavo right after we say, because I'm still thinking about what I said. I sort of get out of my routine at that point. So my kavanah is helped by the special things I put into Rafa'enu and Shema Koleinu.
Was there like a specific time in your life when tefilah was like particularly meaningful to you?
When I was in the former Soviet Union.
I thought you were going to say that.
And I started praying for all my friends who were refuseniks, who weren't getting visas to get out. I think I have never davened that way before. But I'll tell you when else I have the best kavanah. When I'm davening as a shliach tzibur before the amud. You know, some people, when they daven as a shliach tzibur, are concentrating on the nusach and they're trying to sing perfectly well. I don't do that. I have a gift from my mother's father, my grandfather. I'm very musical. I know the nusach backwards and forwards. I don't have to think about it. I think about what I'm saying. I never have as much kavanah as when I'm davening before the Amud. Whether it's on Chol, when I have a yahrzeit, or Yom Ha'atzmaut, or Yom Yerushalayim, when I always daven, or Hoshana Rabbah, when I daven. Or sometimes on Shabbos, when the Chazan isn't there, I get a chance to daven. Or on the Yamim Noraim, especially the Yamim Noraim. That's when I have my best kavanah.
Do you have anything else about tefilah that you want to say?
Yeah. I think tefilah is a big privilege. I learned this from my teacher, Rabbi Joseph B. Soloveitchik, Alav HaShalom, Zecher Tzadik Livracha. If you stop to think about it, it's a little absurd for me, little me. I'm just in the world, I'm a speck. And 3 times a day, I stand up with my feet together. Ke'eved ha'omed lifnei rabbo, like a servant standing before his master. And I pray to God. And I expect that God is listening to me. He's a shomea tefilah. That we're sort of promised that God listens, not that God answers. We can't expect always an answer, but that he's shomea. Why in heaven's name should God be listening to me? He's got to be worrying about you and all of your friends and everybody in Ramaz and everybody in KJ. And where do you pray? Where? Safra Synagogue?
No, I pray on the Upper West Side, Anshe Chesed.
In Anshe Chesed. He's got to be worrying about all these people, plus all the other people in the world, right? Plus the people in Darfur who are really suffering, plus the animals. He's infinite. And I am standing before him and saying, God, please help me to be a better husband and a better father and a better grandfather and a good rabbi and a good teacher. Now, that's very important to me, but why should it be important to God? It's crazy. I'm using the words that Rav Soloveitchik used. He never said it's crazy. He used the word absurd. Prayer is absurd. That's why we use the words of Tehillim, because Tehillim was written by religious geniuses. And we use the structure of Chazal. And we know that Jews have prayed since Avraham Avinu prayed to Hashem. And Yitzchak and Yaakov and Moshe and David and Shlomo, they all prayed. So we feel we can pray too. But it's still absurd. That's why before we start Shmona Esrei, there's a pasuk. Do you know that pasuk? Hashem Svatai Tiftach Ufi Agid Tilatecha. What does it mean? God, Svatai Tiftach. Open my lips. Ufi Agid, and let my mouth speak your praise. Why do we say that, Rav Soloveitchik said? Because we know it's absurd. It doesn't make sense. But we know we're supposed to pray. And we've seen our forefathers pray. So we're going to pray. But as we stand there, we're like, oh my God, how can I start? So we say Hashem Sfatai Tiftach Ufi Agiti Latecha. It took Rav Soloveitchik about 7 or 8 2-hour lectures to say what I just said to you in 3 minutes.
Oh, wow.
I just gave it all to you. The secret of prayer. Now, there's much more to explain, as you can imagine. But that's, on the one hand, it doesn't make any sense. And on the other hand, we're supposed to do it. So in the end, we ask him to help us out. I want to say one more thing. I am so impressed that the two of you are asking questions like this and are inquisitive about tefilah, and also that you had no difficulty explaining Hashem Sfatai Tiftach Ufi Agiti Latecha.
She's Israeli.
Yeah, but you didn't have any difficulty either. You knew how to translate it, didn't you? Hashem Sfatai Tiftach. Okay, so she has an example. She has an advantage. But I think it's terrific that Ramah's 8th graders are interested in this and able to handle the ideas so well and the language. The main thing to do is, when you pray, to concentrate on the language. For her, it's easier because she knows the language better. But it's also very hard for her because she knows spoken language, everyday language. It's not the language of the tefillot. And it's hard. Like if I was davening in English, oh Lord, open my mouth, open my lips and let my mouth say your praises. I wouldn't
It's a different feel,
concentrate
right?
on. Yeah, no. You got to say it slowly. And the real problem of prayer is that everybody's in such a rush. Such a rush. Chaval, slow down and enjoy the privilege of tefilah. Okay.
Thank you.
You better turn that.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.